Hey, Chris, I see you. Let's see. Let me get this case off. I give that case props because it sure did not want to come off. I'm going to threading my machine, and I'm trying to make this area a little bit brighter. If it's not bright enough, tell me, and I can get another light. This area is so dark. Good morning. Hold on, let's see. I'll be right back. Those are my kid books. There we go. That looks like it's a little bit brighter. Not the strobe light. Seriously, my kids and this machine. Okay. Sorry, guys. I wanted to get more light because it was kind of dark-ish. Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm alive today, and I'm going to be doing a mini tutorial on this Simply Classic pattern, the Lil Leah. I came across the pattern when my friend Lynette brought me over to Classic booth during So Magical, and that was the booth that took my breath away. It was I've never I know I see now I recognize that I've seen her patterns before, but I guess I didn't put the name to the face, and oh my god, I fell in love with all her patterns there and all of her makers kits. She has some pretty outrageous maker kits. So after I flew home, I think I purchased the kit, and that's the one I'm going to use today. And I was just blown away by it. So I made one bag the day before yesterday, and I had a message Chris because it's like she did magic, like a Houdini act on the lining, something that I've never done before, and I was I was excited. I know I'm not the only person. When I hear or get to do something brand new, it becomes super exciting, and it just kind of just like makes your day. Totally made my day. So I asked if I can do this bag live, and she said yes. And Chris is also here to help answer any other questions, which is good because I might mess up. I because I'm going live and I get nervous live. Let's see. Yes, Lynette. Yay. Okay. Let's see. All right. So if you haven't bought the pattern, I did put a link up above so you can see where you could purchase it. And I also put down the kit that I'm going to be using. I won't be giving out measurements. That's all part of the pattern, but I will like go over like you'll see up close and personal on what I'm doing. So there's two patterns for one. There's a skinny tall one, and then there is the mini that we're making. I'm going to make the tall one, but it's the mini that drew me, and I was like, cool. All the supplies that you need are going to be on page 6, as well as what you need to cut out for the mini. And all information on stabilization with Decaville Light for the pockets and the measurements are found on page 7. So I like how she does this. She breaks down the bag construction into steps. So the first one we're going to do is the crossbody, which is funny because I love doing my crossbodies last because I feel like I accomplished something, and this is like the best part. But I'm really excited to show you this part because what she does here is pretty nifty, and you get to wind up saving a lot on extra hardware that you may not be needing. So I'm going to get my crossbody strap, which should be right here. And I gotta tell you, her faux leather feels like leather. It's really supple. Totally blown me away. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do how we normally do your crossbody, except we're gonna do a little bit more taping around the top, the two short ends. It's really funny because I kind of do this method a lot in how I make my bags, because I have done where I made sharp corners and edge paint. It makes, I have like, my tape has a lot of thread on it. They fell down in a thread pile. So I'm gonna just put this double-sided tape down the center. And I'm using this is Sandra's tearaway tape, and this is a 1/2 inch. Throughout this pattern, she also made my little DST heart happy because she uses some double-sided tape. So if your machine is a machine that gums up real easily, just have some alcohol wipes ready. The thing is that I think I love double-sided tape because they become like the fingers and hands that that you want to hold things apart. So I'm going to leave about a 1/8 of an inch gap. I always do that so that when this folds over, there's not a bulge. And then we're going to be doing some cool, I'm going to explain because I can't punch a hole on an industrial table. It just shakes and vibrates, and then you can get an uneven cut. But I'm going to explain everything. And tomorrow morning, when I do my captain's log, I'll show you what it looks like with edge painting. But this is the only part we're going to be edge painting. That's like more like 1/4 Genova. Take your time. These industrial tables like leave little room for imagination. The tables are so tiny. Like you think you're getting like this massive table, and then once you start really using it, you realize the tables is so small. So what we're going to do here is, if you look on figure 13, there is some double-sided tape, and it's not all the way, it's towards the edge, the outside edge, but not all the way towards the inside edge. What you're going to do is peel back that double-sided tape. It might want to peel with me, and we're going to place it right here. Now, this is where you would edge, like you're going to punch the edge. And I have a punch I can show you. Because I just used it. I just used it the other day, but so, oops. What I like to do is like a 3-parter when I'm punching. So I'm pulling and dropping things. That's what I do best. So when I do punch, I like to put a rubber mat down. It helps with the vibrations, and it just helps stabilize it. A piece of metal, and then I have that. I have your mallet, which this is not my normal mallet that I use, but it's the one that was available. And let me just see if I can do this without causing ruckus. I'm just going to tell people, if you're sensitive to sound, I'm going to be whacking the heck out of this faux leather, so viewer discretion is advised. All right, so this is a 1-inch craft punch that I think I got from Tandy Leather. I like to make sure that I have everything lined up really nice. And then you have your perfect half circle. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Take your time. There's no rush. Smooth. You can get cutting mats at Lowe's, Home Depot, any hardware store. You can get your metal block there. This, I also use this as a paperweight. This thing is super heavy, and you can get your rubber mat there. So pretty much everything I'm using is from Lowe's right now. So there's that. And it's, that metal mat thing is heavy. And then your 1-ounce punch, I recommend getting a good quality. Yes, you sometimes can get them relatively inexpensive from other things, but if the blade dulls fast, it could be because of the quality. So just be, cognizant about that. Tandy Leather has been around for a long time, and same with their hardware. So just something to think about. And this I would not recommend. I got this mallet. I have another one you guys already seen from Tandy Leather. It was out. This one unscrews all the time, which can be not fun. So what I'm going to do is, what she does is edge paint. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and stitch this all the way around, so that way I can get this really nice and tight and compact as best as I can. And then I would edge paint, but I'm not going to edge paint, but I'll show you what you would do next. So I'm going to take this over to my machine. I'm going to sew 1/8 of an inch, and I'm going to back stitch anywhere from 2 to 4 stitches. Oops, sorry. All right. Let's see. Sorry. My bobbin was acting up. I put a new one in, so we shall see what happened. I'm using 70 weight thread. I believe it's Amon. And this chocolate brown. All right, let's start this again. I'm gonna go over the last 2 stitches I did, and then go back stitch. You can use clips, or you can use double-sided tape to hold the folds in place. You can eyeball in, kind of like I'm doing. when I seen her, when I read the instructions and seeing it was edge paint. If you check out some of the bags that I make, like when I make the Hitchhiker or when I make the Brooklyn, that's exactly what I do too. I punch the edge and I edge paint it, and it always makes the bag look like I'm using real leather. It gives it a really nice like touch, very classy. And again, it's cost efficient, and you can get, if you're not missing any edge, like edge pieces, then you can just like side connectors, and not connectors, end caps. I cannot talk today. It's Friday the 13th. That's why it's upon us. Just so you all know, if anything does go wrong, I'm just going to say it's Friday the 13th. So just take your time, go around. Okay. I'm going to trim these tails. And what I would do, what I will do is I would grab, I love my to go to edge paint. My favorite edge paint in the world is the base paint from Mojo Sews. I would put it just on here and on here, and I would build it up. I personally like to take one, sand it down, make sure it's smooth, put another coat on. I usually use three base coats, and then two of the color, and then one of the top coat. But that's just me. Everyone has formulas completely different, because edge paint differs in different climates, different humidities, moisture level, heat, and cold. So what works for one may not work for another. Just based off of where I live in Maryland, we have a high humidity index, as well as right now we woke up today and it was 46 degrees. So there's definitely a kind of a fall nip in the air. So I would do this in the summertime. I noticed that I have to actually use more base coat than I do in the winter. It's quite interesting, but you would do that and you would continue to do your work throughout your bag and just come back and reapply your edge coat. But this is the beautiful strap so far, and it looks amazing. Hey, Lynette. The first time I was so nervous making it the first time. I was like, okay, I don't want to mess this up. All right. So after we're done with that, we're going to hop on over to page 11, shows you how she punches the holes and how she gets everything together. And I'll show you that tomorrow, like the finished part, because I definitely want to edge paint it, but I am not functional enough to edge paint and and go forth. So let me put my over here, and we're gonna grab the connectors and the side pieces, and I'm going to get the hardware. This came so beautiful, like it's really pretty how she packaged everything. So I just merged these together. Here's my side connectors and my side pieces. I'm going to grab the D-rings. All right, so we're gonna find our centers on our side pieces. And we're going to draw all right, and then we're going to put some double-sided tape down to a certain amount. We're gonna make some marks on the other side. One going a couple inches down on the right side because it's going to be where the connector goes. That measurement is on page 12 on the step 2. I'm just going to draw and chalk, so hopefully you guys can see it. I thought pink for the snake would show up, but it's blending. That is interesting. Okay. I'm going to find my centers. I always find my centers because it's easier for me to line everything up. I'm really bad at lining things up. The seam allowance throughout this is 1/2 inch, so you have a nice, secure seam allowance. I actually appreciate a generous seam allowance because if I need to correct or do something, it's easier because I have a little bit more room to work with. All right, so I'm going to put some double-sided tape. You can go over that with a seam roller. If you don't have a seam roller, one, you could purchase them at like Joann's, Hobby Lobbies, or if you might have a painter's roller or whatever. But if you're like, no, Shinobu, I don't have any, what I like to do is I like to take this on the edge of something and rub it back and forth. So that way I can get the friction to make everything smooth out. Usually do it on the edge of a table. All right, so I'm going to grab these D-rings. Very nice. I like that. I like the feel of them. We're going to slide this on, and we're going to go to where we made that mark. And I'm going to take some double-sided tape. And I'm not going to bring it all the way to the top because then you get that weird sticky goopy stuff when the D-ring peels back. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I mean, I guess, yeah, because snakes they do have hints of like rose gold and pink, but it was so, I just expected it automatically to not, because I thought if I get the white, you guys are not going to see it, and nor would you'll see it with the silver, but apparently also the pink. So we're going to line up this as best as you can. So that's why I like to find my centers, so that way I can just be able to eyeball the best I can to make sure I have it even as flush as I can. And just, I like to put my finger over and press everything out. All right. When I get to the bias binding, Chris, I might need your help because I used pre-made last time. So I used regular vinyl like as faux piping before, but that's new territory. All right, so we're going to draw a line from where the end of the fold is, and this is where we're going to stitch up and across and down. All right, my stitches are set at 4.5. I always go up 2 stitches and back 2 stitches to lock it in. We're doing 1/8 of an inch. When you get to your line, pivot with the needle down, pivot, needle down, remember, trim those threads. All right, let's do this again. And make sure that you try to get those ends tucked in. Okay, once we have that, we're going to make a mark for our rivets. So I'm just lining everything up, drawing the mark, and then I'm just going to punch a hole. All right, and then I'm going to get some 2 rivets. And my rivet just like popped out of my hand. That's awesome. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Let's see. Okay. Put the male part of the rivet in first, and then my cap. And if you want to, you could put a little piece of Peltex back there, but the vinyl, with the vinyl and how it is, I don't think the rivet's going to go anywhere because it's the pull line for the thread is below where the rivet is. So it's just another reinforcement. Okay, and let's put this humongous thing down. I swear that's a workout on its own. Yeah, a regular one has it as well. Ooh, it holds up to a 40 ounce. Oh, okay. Nova might have to make herself another one because I got this really cool water bottle with made with this tulip pink fabric. Yeah, it's a 35 ouncer, so I'm really excited now. So I'm gonna grab this main piece. I didn't use purse feet last time. I don't know. I like the way it looked without it, but you can put purse feet. Like purse feet gate is real. I understand. A lot of people were like, no, you have to do it. And I'm like, no, you really don't. But it all depends on if I was using the lighter, like the snakeskin one, I would, because you would be able to see the dirt and everything build up, but I don't foresee me needing it. So a 1/2 inch, remember, nice seam allowance, and we're going to open it. back stitch well, beginning and end. Oops, I accidentally snipped into the vinyl. All right, so we're gonna then press this. We're gonna stitch the seam fold towards the bottom of the gusset. So we're gonna fold this towards the bottom. This is the bottom panel, and then we're gonna top stitch right here on top. 40 ounces, I cannot, I'm still like, that's good. That's so pretty already. Like the color combination is gorgeous. Okay, again, we're going to want to put the seam allowance. And it kind of naturally wants to do that. When you see me open it up, it immediately wants to fold down. So it's just going to the natural, or naturally wants to go. So all right. And then we're going to want to find our notches for our fabric. So I'm going to just match this real quick. I like to match seam to seam too. I know it's a lot of clips for one step, but one, you don't want to mess with the fold lines. Small little notch. Okay, we're going to put this aside for right now, and then we're going to grab, we're making the Lil Leah from Simply Classic. We're going to grab exterior pocket lining. So I'm going to keep my pattern pieces right here on the side because there is a snap placement. So, and that's really important. So you're grabbing your exterior pocket and the lining. As you can see, they're not the same size, and there's a reason for that. So we're going to line the raw edges, the flat edges together, and we're going to use our seam allowance and stitch back and forth stitches. We're going to just so we're just going to turn the lining seams underneath the lining and then top stitch to catch the lining. So I'm just pressing it and try to move these clips out of the way, but you know how my clips go, they go everywhere. So top stitch real quick. Then we're going to bring these lining piece and the exterior piece together. So I'm just going to put some clips there and just fold this. Isn't that cute? It's super cute. I'm going to grab my pattern piece. First I'm going to find the center. I'm going to top stitch, but I just want to find the center real quick. Okay. So we're going to top stitch this close, like not close, but we're going to top stitch the top edge, not at a basting, just like your regular stitch allowance, and again back stitch. Okay, and we're gonna want to grab our magnet. I know I placed the magnet in here, but it's cool if it isn't. I have a bazillion laying around somewhere. Have you guys ever just kept losing something? Mine just magnets. I lose a lot of magnets. And here it is. So, because this is the exterior pocket, I'm going to put the Mel magnet here. I'm first going to center this and then go off the line that I centered and kind of poke a hole with using a pen through the paper, and I got my magnet, where my magnet placement is going to be. And I just have the washer. I'm going to make 2 little slits, and I like to put some Fabri-Tac over the slits, even though this is waterproof canvas, just to help to make sure like the tear doesn't continue. And I would be very careful. I don't know about you, but whenever I put Fabri-Tac on, it just likes to smear and spread really fast. I'm going to put the washer on. And you could put, again, Peltex or something in the back if you feel like it's going to be, it will come off, but it won't. All right, and let me grab one more washer. I have to buy like packs of washers by myself, like by itself, because I'm consistently losing them. So that is the exterior pocket. If you wanted to, you could put your name or ID thing, just anything on here, and it will look really, really nice. So we're going to grab one of the main pattern pieces. We're going to kind of do the same thing. We're going to take the piece and I'm going to poke a hole through where the magnet's going to go. This pink, man, it's just making me realize maybe I need to make some snakeskin stuff in pink. And you could double check it and see if everything fits. Okay. I'm going to take my washer and just draw 2 little lines. I'm going to grab my female. And before I put the tape on it, I just want to make sure when these two things snap that they're fitting together. And they are. Because this is a perfect time if you need to adjust it like a little up or a little down. This is the time. I'm grabbing just some double-sided tape and using it because I can't find my electrical tape rope. I usually use electrical tape or duct tape, but I'm not opposed to using different materials. Let's see. Then we're going to base this on. Hold my tails. Okay. It looks really nice. I didn't do it. I was trying to fussy cut it. Like, if you look at her pattern, she has like the scales perfectly aligned, and I was only able to get like one side. I was having the hardest time fussy cutting it, but it gave me a challenge, and I'm like, challenge accepted. I'm gonna start fussy cutting animal print more and more. Like, not to be afraid. I need to do it. So on page 16, it gives you the measurement of us marking where we need to start and end our piping. So there's some piping instructions. So bear with me because I used faux piping last time. Pre-made. So this is my first time doing this method, but I'm excited. So I cut from where she said to cut, and now I'm about to draw some lines. My computer's engine is super loud, I guess, because I hear Loki snoring upstairs, but all I hear is the computer, like the fans. All right, so I did the line. I'm going to grab some double-sided tape. And I'm going to put it from line to line that I made the short ends from. I'm excited. I like trying new stuff. Oh, thank you. Between the two lines on the edge too? Okay. Oh, I do see that. Okay. We're just going to rip some double-sided tape off real quick. Just have it all. This double-sided tape is like eating up that chocolate. It's hilarious. It's like turning like a ashy pink. All right. So, oh, they have a little clear rubber band. Okay. All right. All right. I'm going to press this down on the long edges. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to put double-sided tape on the long edges. Between, let's see. And we're going to not go past that line. Oops. This is some super sticky double-sided tape right now. Hold on. And I'm going to use a different double-sided tape to press this down around the long edges. So I can stick better. All right. This is I used 2 different DSCs, so let's see. Oh yeah, that double-sided tape does not want to let go on this one. They're like, nope, you're permanent. I'm going to get my bone tool and press. If I have my bone tool. Let's see. There we go. All right, that's cool. Oh, this is cool. Okay, let's do this other one. I'm just going to add the other double-sided tape to it when I place this one on top. Okay. Cut. All right, and trim that. Whenever I use wax tape, I can't have nail polish color on. It rips it right off, the nail polish color off. I'll be like, well, I guess I didn't have to use acetone. The only thing it doesn't seem to destroy is like clear glitter nail polish. All right. So we're going to mark down what we did, and then we are going to mark down on our pieces. Just doing it on all four pieces, angle 4 sides. Oh, sorry. I accidentally bumped you guys. All right. We're going to cut a little triangle. Well, no, I think I need it a little bigger. At that mark that we just placed. All right. Then we're going to we're going to fold them over at an angle and start right underneath the, I'm just going to bring out my clipboard. We're going to start right at an angle right underneath the line that we just made. And I'm going to grab some clips. And we're going to make some little snips into the curved part. So it can ease in. I'm an over clipper. And we're just going to continue down. And we're going to clip into the curves here. So, if I have overage, do I reassess or? Okay, I got that, Chris. Thanks. So I'm going to just mark where this is right here. And I would recommend you trying to pry this open. I know wax stuff is like no bueno, but you got this. we're just going to rip this one thing out, cut about 1 inch off, and then stuff it back in. I know that felt like it was traumatic, but it wasn't, I promise. Of course, my other one wants to flip down. Okay. I'm gonna clip this in the center right there. All right. Then we're going to baste it on real quick. I'm just gonna keep my hands. This is where a stiletto, if you have a stiletto and you're really good at taking off clips with your stiletto. I have not achieved that yet. I've seen some people like, as they're flinging off the clips with the stiletto. I'm like, I can't do that. Just hold that down. Okay, so we have one down. That looks really nice. I'm like really satisfied on how that turned out. Like beyond satisfied, actually. That's like the best piping I've ever done. All right, so we're gonna get our other bag part out, and we're going to do that one and put this one on the side real quick. We're gonna make those same marks. Hey, Nikki. And we're going to place that right under that mark that we just made. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to place these clips around it. Snip into the areas where the curve is, so it can adjust nicely. We're going to snip into these curves in the piping, not on the main panel pieces. And it's always good to have more than less, because at least you can cut off and readjust. And I'm going to follow the same thing. I'm going to measure right above where our material is. That's where I'm going to cut. I'm going to open this up and cut about an inch off. Man, that double-sided tape wants to... I'm like trying to get in the trash. I'm looking at it. It's not trying to go. clip it, and now we're going to base this one. I really like this vinyl. It is super, it kind of reminds me of like how smooth and soft like that nubuck leather is. All right. Let me trim that. Those look so good. So now we're going to grab our gusset that we made, and we're just going to make sure that we find our centers here. I like to always place like a clip and then find the center. And then while I'm at it, it helps. So I'm going to take a clip and clip together this bottom and then go to the top. And do the same thing on this side. Align everything so the raw edges go with the raw edges. Nice gusset. Nice gusset. Very nice. I feel like if I could be like a top chef, but for bag making for gussets, I am a sucker for someone that can make a good gusset. This vinyl has a little bit of stretch, so I don't have to snip into it. If you don't have vinyl that has a little bit of a stretch, you can snip into it like a marine vinyl. But even then, if you cut the marine vinyl on any kind of bias, there will be a stretch. These clips are just flying. Clip is few or many or whatever is easier for you. There's no rhyme or reason or rules to how many clips you can use. Don't be bummed. You're not. We're constructing the exterior. So we're going to. You can use a zipper foot. My foot is really narrow, so I'm just going to get as close as I can without actually touching the actual piping part. And I'll always backstitch, and I'm going to use a stiletto to get even closer. As you can see, I have no grace when it comes to removing clips. No, you haven't missed the magic yet. The Houdini. I like that. I know the bag's name is Little Leah, but I'm forever gonna think of it as the Houdini. I was like, what in the world did I just create? This is magic. The Houdini comes on after this. And you can just check to make sure you didn't like lose. I've done this before where I did like piping and I lost some of it, but this looks really good. I'm gonna snip the little tails, the bird tails, little. And then I'm going to just put just a little bit of snips in the gusset so that way, I know we didn't need it and it stretched, but you just wanted to let it sit really nice and have its curves. Man, I keep dropping clips. All right, let's get this other one. This is like the front. Just going to match this up. I will finagle something to make sure that everything lines up as best as it can. Oh, yeah. I also like this faux snake too. It has like there's texture to it. It feels really nice. Okay, and let's do the same thing. Let's go around this. Okay, we're going to trim off these little snips. I did last time, but apparently I did not. And see where this little area wants to curl up because it's stretched. I'm just going to put in a couple of snips so that way it can kind of, the fabric can relax. Okay, trim those threads, and let's see. So this is just vinyl and Decaville light, so it's gonna have structure, but it's not gonna be like impossible to turn. And you're like 17 years later, I'm still trying to get this thing out. Oh, this is nice. Look how nice that is. That is so pretty. I'm just pressing out. That's really, really pretty. And like, that's so pretty. So subtle, so gorgeous. I'm just saying, like, the color combination I did put on the top of the chat, this is the kit that I bought. I would get this kit again in a heartbeat because one, the vinyl is really nice to work with. I think I'm in love with her solid vinyl, but this snake print is gorgeous and it has like texture to it. And it's not like texture that's going to mess up your sewing. It's just, it gives it a little bit more zazazoo, you know? So we're going to put that on the side. And we're going to go to page 20 now. And we're going to get the zipper. So we have this beautiful zipper tape. And we are going to, I honestly think she gave us extra zipper tape too. So we're going to cut the zipper tape to, I just had that page. Mm-hmm. I literally just had it. There it is. I'm just going to keep it the way it is right now. I know 14 inches. There we go. So I'm going to measure out 14 inches. Ooh, I love extra zipper tape. Because like if I want to make a wallet or something that matches, it's there. All right. Ooh, yeah. I love Sew Fuse Plus too. But I get what she's saying. Like for this one, I would definitely use 2 layers. 2 layers of Sew Fuse Plus is nice. It has like a nice like it has a nice hand to it. I usually use it for my wallets. It feels really nice. So I'm just gonna burn my. So, I still haven't. I was gonna be like milty. I'm trying to come up with like a cute term for burning your ends, but yeah, there's not really a cute term. So we're gonna pinch and pull it to the side, and then you're gonna place a needle. I'm gonna do a clip because I'm gonna sew it. Now I did see somebody do this the other day. Not the other day. I've seen it a couple times where they're able to like burn them into the position. I'm a klutz, and you guys would be seeing a fire happen. I've tried it one time too, but then I burned my finger. It wasn't the best. So I'm just gonna sew it down. This machine is not really made for like 2 layers of zipper tape, but it'll do it. Okay, there's one. And let's do the second one. And because apparently my pin that I had there to pull strings to the back is MIA too. My daughter's been into making her own like stuffed animals, so she comes in my room and she takes things that she thinks she needs without asking. So I, it's either a troll or Hope. So I don't know. I've actually never seen the troll take anything, but I have seen my daughter. I can't get mad because I'm like super excited that she's sewing. Like she was coming to me as like the day before talking about lock stitches, ladder stitches, and I'm just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. One of my kids is gonna be able to sew. I feel like amazing. All right, so we're gonna grab our zippered pocket pieces and nope, not those. There we go. And we are going to put this to the back. I kind of like the way she did this. I'm going to do it because you fold them in half on itself, but she did it in, she uses double-sided tape like a ruler. Chris does. And it was the first time I've ever seen anyone do this. So I'm going to try it. So this tape is a 1/2 inch, right? I'm not probably going to be as graceful as you, Chris, but I thought this was a really cool trick when I seen it. I was like, I want to do that next time I do the back. So she has them lined up and the double-sided tape just going across like this. And I was like, wait, what? You just saved me. Okay. So I'm going to pull this off and then you kind of just fold it over where the tape is. Sorry, my bun just probably went right in there. I was like, okay, so my struggle with double-sided tape. I feel like that's half my sewing time is trying to do this. And I was like, she just saved like 30 minutes off of something I do a lot longer. So, and then you could just, if you're using the tearaway from Sandra, then you could just pull it apart. Isn't that crazy? I was like, shut up. This is kind of magical too. And then I'm just going to finger press it. Yep, that was it. That's not the Houdini, but I'm still impressed with with that. All right, so we're gonna put our double-sided tape of 1/8 of an inch. Okay. It'll get too thick. Hey, Kendall. He's doing good. He's laughing and picking up stuff that I need. So, all right, I'm going to just make a mark. There's a seam allowance that you need to put this on to, and I just found it easier just to make a mark. I'm putting some double-sided tape, 1/8 of an inch, as it falls down, the zipper falls down to the ground. No, seriously though, I really hate folding over double-sided on zipper plackets. Sometimes when I see zipper plackets, I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be the death of me. But this way, I'm like, okay, cool, I can make it go a little bit faster. I'm sorry, my hair. we're going to use a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And I'm just going to clip this here. And here. And I'm going to go down the seam allowance real quick. I'm just lining everything up. And then I'm just going to go around this rectangle real quick using we're going to do this again. Christine, I'm telling you. Yeah. I want to make the bigger one now that I know that it carries that amount of water. Like that got me like super excited. I was like, "Oh my God." Okay, and we're going to sew down 1/4 of an inch. The cool thing about doing this live like this is that in 72 hours, all the notes from the live will be populated. So if you go back and watch it, you can see where Chris says, okay, you have too much piping, you need to adjust, or all the notes that Chris have said. And I think that is unbelievably cool because you have the designer there right there with you saying this is how it's done. So I really appreciate Chris for like staying with us and helping out. I really like how this brown is so luxurious. It's very nice and supple. So I'm going to go around again. And if this area is too bulky, if you have a pair of like round nose pliers and like a cotton or scrap, you can press it down, like put the cotton and then press the needle nose pliers in, and it will help flatten that seam. Or I see people saying you can whack it, but I just feel like like I don't know, I feel like, okay, then that's when my vinyl's gonna pill or something. I don't know. Another thing that you could do, a lot of people have the key fob press. That can help press down seams too. All right. Okay, so then I'm just going to, I like to find the center. You can do this with chalk pencil or just a little bit of a snip. you probably, I forgot, you don't really need to find the center. But I digress. It's a knee-jerk reaction. All right, so we sewed around, and now we're going to do what you guys are going to separate. Yay, they're individuals right now. All right, and then we're going to hop on over to page 24. And we are going to grab the lining pocket. And if you have a bag tag, this is a good place to put it onto. We're going to fold it onto itself in half. And I'm just going to put a couple of clips here just to hold it in place. And we're going to use the seam allowance and go down. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, we're going to open this up. Put your finger into the corner. And I'm just going to use my boning tool. Has a not so sharp, and you could just kind of press it out. You can also taper the ends if you want, but it's really not needed inside. You could just, it just helps also give it a little bit more structure by having that seam allowance in there. See? Easy peasy. Oops. Except the metal is like, you spoke too soon, Shinova. Okay. I'm just going to baste this 2 layers together in place. We're going to find the center, draw a line. We're going to put some double-sided tape as soon as I lose another cap. Here, Netta. And we're just going to place this right here on the line, underneath the line, and just finger press it, and then bring this and I'm just going to snip off the edges that don't go part of it so I can backstitch and not lose that backstitch. I'm going to sew right on the edge using a 1/8 of an inch. Oh my god, this is the cutest little thing though, seriously. Hey, little slip pocket. Alright, so we're done with that slip pocket. We're going to work on to the credit card slot. No, I'm sorry, we're not working on the credit card slot. We're working on the key fob. So I'm going to grab the key fob thingy. You know, we have less and less pattern pieces, and that means that I will start losing stuff. All right, so we're going to take this and we're going to put some double-sided tape on one side. And we're going to stitch down one side. The raw edge side we're going to stitch down. And then you would take this to your table and try to get a clean edge with the rotary. I'm just going to trim about 1/8 of an inch away from the stitches. Trying to use long strokes so that way everything could be nice and clean. Now, from here, if you're like, hey, I want some kind of color, you can use, remember I told you the leather marking pins to make it look like it's edge painted, but it's not. It's just a permanent marker pin that is meant for vinyls and leathers. You guys see me use this before, so I'm going to use it here. And you can see how it transforms it a little even more. But if you wanted to, you can edge paint it for sure. Then we're going to rivet it in place. I'm going to put this 1/2 inch I'm going to punch a hole. And I'm going to grab a rivet. And then I'm going to set the rivet with the world's most heaviest press. Oh my God, it's a workout. But I absolutely love it. All right, so we have our key fob looking all clean. Let's see. Then we're going to grab our credit card slots. All right. We're going to draw that line that's on the pattern piece. And we can use double-sided tape or you can use fabric tack, your choice. And we're going to grab the lining. It comes out in like big gulps normally. Line things up here. And you can peel off the tape and get it to the back of this. And I'm just going to make sure that any overage I snip. Because I don't think I traced the best. All right. And we're going to base this or top stitch it. And back stitching 1 or 2 stitches. And make sure that when you have a little bit of glue, make sure it goes onto any area you think is going to fray, but because it's waterproof canvas, it's really not going to fray. We're going to do the same thing with this piece. Draw a line. I should own stock and Fabri-Tac and Beacon glue. I feel like this one's a little long, but I can adjust that. There goes another clip. All right, we're gonna put these to the side real quick, and then we're gonna grab our lining gusset piece, and we're going to grab it's crazy. I have less pieces in here. I'm still trying to find things. I'm gonna grab our little lining accent pieces. And we're gonna place them right sides together. Use our seam allowance. We're going to back stitch. And we're going to fold down on itself and fold towards the gusset, the main piece. Do the same on this other side. Okay. We're going to press the lining towards the inside of the gusset. And then we're going to find our centers and make a little bit of snips. We're at the home stretch. I don't know if anyone has made it in cotton. Well, no, I take that back. My first bag, it was cotton exterior as well as the lining, but I didn't do the credit card slots in cotton. I always forget I do cotton sometimes. Okay, now we're going to begin the Houdini. Okay. I'm going to grab... The reason why I adapted this is because this is one lining piece and this is the other. So I'm hoping that I do not mess this up. All right. So what we're going to do, there's measurements. On the long piece, we're going to have right sides up. On the top, we're going to draw a line. She gives the measurements in the same for figure 122. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to use the disappearing ink. Well, I can't use disappearing ink. Let's see. If all else I can use the chalk, but that pink chalk, man, it is brutal. Like sometimes it comes out, sometimes it doesn't. Okay. Now, we're going to paste short side of the lining, the short lining, right sides down. And we're going to draw some marks. And then let's see. Now we're going to place right sides together. And we want the line that we drew on both sides to match up perfectly. Okay. We are going to match the lines up perfectly. Use Wonder Clips, hair clips, whatever you have, making sure it doesn't shift. And we are going to sew down lining two facing up. I'm sorry, the wrong side of lining two facing up, and then we're going to sew from that mark that we drew to the other mark. Do not go past the marks that I drew horizontally, so that way everything stays aligned. Do not go past. So you have to be, if you have to slow and steady, it's okay, as long as you don't go past that line. Trimming. All right. Now flip the lining over so lining 1 is on top. So flip it over, and then we're going to mark where we're going to mark 3-inch mark right on the sewing line. So we're going to do some marking. Okay, so like in magic, in being a magician, there's always someone that is like the stuff, right? And then they'll have an apprentice. This feels very Cloaks and Daggers to me right now. I am doing something that I have never done before, but I'm enjoying it. I've done this once. But all it took is for me to be like, this is the coolest thing ever. All right. So we're going to do some scary stuff right now. It's not scary. We're going to make sure that we have the correct marks. And I'm going to just put these lines so you can see where, when I do some cutting, that you understand where I'm snipping into. This, I wonder how you came up with this, because like seriously, my mind doesn't go there. I would have been like, this is the coolest thing. All right, so we have our marks, and we are going to snip in to the lines that I just drew. Yes, you heard correct. We're going to snip in. We're going to take some double-sided tape. Oops, that wants to stick. And we're going to just place it on the top part where in between those two lines. All right, so we're going to make sure when we clip, we're only clipping through this first layer, not the second. No, the second too. Hold on, I'm going to put a double-sided tape on this side too. Oh, okay. We're going to snip in. I'm going to put some double-sided tape. Oops. That's a little too far down. All right, and I'm going to grab some double-sided tape. Okay, I'm stuck to my double-sided tape. All right. All right, so when you fold, this is one pocket. If you fold this to the side and this one to the side, you can see that I feel like I'm doing this wrong. Hold on. You say I didn't do it wrong. Okay, so we're going to actually sew the bottom. I keep forgetting this part. You sew the bottom 1/8 of an inch, and we're going to go down and then up. So this right here, from here to here, where's my little pink pen? We're going to sew. So we're going to go, we can go, well, I'm going to sew from going down and then across. We're not doing the top yet. Okay, and this is why it's called the Houdini to me. So this is the main big one piece that we have. and this is the regular one. And when you put it together like this, now you have your drink holder. Sorry, wrong side. Now you have your drink holder, and you have your, actually where your zipper pocket's going to go. I thought that was super cool because that piece was so much bigger. And now with the card slot, I mean with the slot right there, it's going to fit perfectly. It's crazy to me how that comes. Like, that's now, it's the inside of your bag. It's now, like, I don't know how she did that or how Chris had that in her head, but that is the craziest trick I've ever seen for a bag. Because when it said cut lining, I thought I had to go back and do my test square because I was like, this one is like significantly bigger than the other one, but I digress. So we're gonna be putting some we're gonna be putting the pockets and the pockets and everything together. So we're going to put the slip pocket first. We're going to find the center. And we're going to measure 2.5. I'm going to grab some double-sided tape, the 1/8 of an inch. Oh my goodness. That double-sided tape is not trying to go anywhere. And we're going to center it. Trim this. And just take your time and center it. You could put rivets in here. I'm going to do a bar tack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down. Then I'm going to turn in and just go inside one stitch and out. And then go around and do the same when I get to the front. And before I'm going to sew one stitch off. I'm going to back stitch one stitch off. And then when I get past the trim, I'm going to do one stitch off. In, one stitch back, and then go back to sewing. And definitely, if you want to, you can put the rivets and just put like, you know, a Peltex or Decaville Heavy as like a washer, like punch a hole through it so that way it can help. But this pocket's not really, really big, so I think a bar tack would be just fine. And see how I did it? Like you go down, one tack in, one tack in. And that just helps with reinforcement. And then we're going to go to the other side of this. We're going to find the center there. I'm trying to crease that with my thumb. I know, isn't that the coolest? I don't know how she did it. It's like magic. I was so excited when I did it. I was like, shut up. No way. So we're going to take the 1/8 of an inch and we're just going to place it on the bottom. And we're going to grab our second card slot piece and we're going to place 1 inch. I'm sorry, 1 inch. That would be like way too much. 1/8 of an inch double-sided tape down and just around. So I'm just going to peel this off as I go. Not on the top, of course. All right, peel this off. We're going to measure I'm just going to line this up and like finger press this, and we're only needing to sew. Yeah, it would have helped if I took the double-sided tape off. I was like, why is it sliding? All right, and we're going to sew just down here, back stitch before and after. I have double-sided tape sticking everywhere. Back stitch. Okay, and then we're going to want to line this up about so I'm just getting the ruler just to line this up as neat as I can. Look at that. We got some fancy card slots. So we're just going to go across, down. I mean, down, across, up. 1/8 of an inch. Okay. So then we're going to find the center. And I'm just going to mark it, and I'm going to do a stitch going up. I'm just going to back stitch over each card slot thing so it can just help it reinforce it a little bit. So I'm going to start in the mid where my on the middle is. We divided the card slots in half, and I'm going to back stitch 2 or 3 stitches. Then I'm going to go up the line that I drew. When I get to this first card slot thing, I'm just going to back stitch once and do the same thing when I get to the second one. All right, so I'm going to grab a card, and everything should fit in pretty nice. They should be tight, and then they get loose, but yeah, they all fit. Woohoo! All right. So now we're going to add our pockets, or our zipper thing. So we're going to put how they lay naturally. So I'm going to move this stuff, move it on the side, and I'm going to clip it. You're going to have a little excess fabric on the edge, and that's perfect. That's what you want. And I'm just going to make sure I move all this out of the way so I'm only sewing over that one layer. I'm just going to make sure it is exactly where it's supposed to be. And I got to remember to do the key fob on the second side. I'm going to baste this on. Sorry, my thread was like, no, you're not. You're not going to baste this on. All right, and we're going to do this on the second side. Okay, so we're going to make sure there's this little part of the flap doesn't get caught into it. We're going to post this here. The zipper teeth are facing up. Baste this on. All right. Now we just need to put the zipper placket, the lining. So we're going to do some maneuvering. We're going to want to have this clip together, but you want it only on the entirety of the actual piece and not, you're going to move things out of the way. So we're going to stitch this on with the seam allowance. Back stitch in the beginning and the end. And you're just going to move it away. You should have enough clearance because the water bottle slot is a ½ inch down. So you should have more than enough to put this lining on. You're going to finger press it up. Let me just cut these threads. Finger press it up and you're going to top stitch it. Okay, now we're going to repeat that same thing on this side. We're going to move this out of the way and clip in place. I thought this was pretty cool too, because I was like, how I'm not understanding. I had to read the instructions and then I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. All right. And just move the pocket out of the way. You should have enough clearance. We're going to flip this up, finger press it. Hold on. I have string caught. Hold on. This is why I say cut your threads, cut your threads. It had string caught in a double-sided tape and it wasn't the best. All right. Top stitching. Okay. Then I'm going to take the zipper tails. I'm just going to clip them to itself so I don't have to worry about it getting caught in anything. And I'm going to find the new centers of the new panels. So I'm just going to put a couple of clips. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Find the centers, and then I'm going to take the stabilizer piece that you have in the cut files, and I'm going to put it in between so that it's going to be stable. Let's see. It should fit. It's just probably nice and snug. Just going to kind of use something that's not like scissors, Shinova. All right, so I have that in, and I'm going to top stitch that down. Okay, now we're going to put this lining together. Make sure you trim those threads. All right, so let's start. So we're going to remember these are two separate pieces now. So we're going to treat them as such. It may be awkward because I felt really awkward at first, but it comes together really brilliant. So put that clip like I did last time. Trying to make sure that these two lines match the overlays parts. And because this is waterproof canvas, most definitely you're going to be snipping into it. Move this little part over the way. Again, finding these two and overlaying them right on top of each other. All right, so I'm going to start doing little snips. And seeing if that works. If it doesn't, then I can do a few more. Waterproof canvas has a tighter weft and weave weft than any other material. So sometimes you have to do a little bit of finagling, but it's worth it. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Couple snips. All right, We're going to now sew this around with the seam allowance. Use your stiletto if it helps you. Again, just make sure you don't sew over your zipper tape. Just constantly shift things so that it's easier for you to sew. Don't be afraid not to squish your bag. It is perfectly okay to squish your bag. A few more snips over here. There you go. And remember, have your crinkles and wrinkles above the sewing line, not below it. That's how you get wrinkles in your bag. Above, okay. Below, no go. Okay, and we're going to trim this down to about 1/4 of an inch. I'm just going to not trim around this area because this is a drop-in lining. And I just kind of veer off. All right, and we're going to do this to this other side. I love, she makes this part really cool because when we sewed the gusset, we sewed the gusset where the trim goes down towards the middle of the bag, right? And we went up, the seam allowance went up. So when you butt it together, it's like kind of foolproof because then they lay right on top of each other. It's with, so it helps also reduce the bulk, but it's actually quite brilliant. Okay, and then we're just going to do some snips around the edge, no more than 1/4 of an inch going in. So you want some sharp snips. Then you just kind of shape it and mold it towards the bag and do clipping while you're doing it. If you know you need to do more snips, you can kind of feel the fabric resisting. Then definitely do more. same thing. You know I didn't. The clips just fly off by themselves. All right, let's go and sew this around. Again, if it's easier for you to use a stiletto, then by all means do it. It's easier for me because I'm always afraid of my fingers getting. I've sewn my fingers way too many times. I feel like a healthy fear of it now. All right. All right, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to trim it. Oops, okay, that went flying. See, so that's your inside. Isn't that cool? All right. So now we trimmed everything around. Now we're going to place some double-sided tape, 1/2 inch around this, and you're just going to open up the seam allowances. I just said open up and did not even state what you have to open. The seam allowances. I'm going to check my bobbin too before we start top stitching, because it's notorious for like for like saying that I could feel like the bobbin's gonna go, and then I start sewing and it just all messes up. Then I'm like, okay, great, that was my bobbin. Don't want to mess up on top stitching. Just finger press this down. Okay, I'm just folding it down. All right, and we're going to do the same thing with the exterior. Tape, 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 and more tape. Just as you're double-sided taping, just open up those seams. That way it's easier to sew around. And then we're going to clip it into place before we sew the drop-in lining. I trust my bobbin, my bobbin tension. So you could sew this part on a free arm, or if you have a domestic, you can remove it. But if you're doing it on a flatbed, it's possible. It's just you would need to really trust your bobbin thread. My tension's pretty good on it, so I'm not too worried. I say this now, and something horrible will happen later. Okay. And just finger press this. You can use a roller if you want to. Put this on the side of like a board, and you can just roll it out, so that way you can get any waviness, anything out. And then you're going to place this in. This is the front, so it all depends on how you want your zipper. If you want your zipper to close to the left, you put it in one way, you put it to the right for the other way. I feel like it's personal preference. I feel like this bag doesn't have a wrong or right side, but there are directions on how the cup, where the cups should be. Bottle holder. I'm going to first go around to all the points. I'm going to then clip in between. Oh, I don't have. You know what's funny? I was looking for it earlier today, and I think one of them is in my upstairs room. Leslie has these really cool templates for how to put your strap-ins, and they're just like perfect because you can use it for 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch, or even a 1/2 inch if you really want to. But I was cutting upstairs, so I think one's upstairs and the other one is in the other part of the workroom. All right. All right, so let me just check this bobbin real quick. I feel like I've been sewing with the same bobbin for a while now, and it might be... No, it's not, actually. I can definitely top stitch. All right. All right, all right, all right. Let's do this. Okay, so you can increase your length for top stitching if you wish, but I just personally keep it the same length. I think I'm a lazy stitcher, like removing stitches and stuff. Let's see. Trying to see if I have a plier or something that can help squish down some of the side bolt. I notice if I do that ahead of time, like it's like a tremendous difference. Like I said, the needle nose plier, the round ones work good, or if you have any kind of clamp, just you don't want anything to destroy your beautiful work. You can use a seam roller and like roll it out on the table, and that can help reduce it. I feel nervous about hammering, but there are people that are try and true, and they're like, yes, I hammer my seams. And I'm like, you're better than me. All right, so I'm going to start at a one of the corners, one of the seams, and I'm just going to back stitch, and I'm going to take my time. If I have to readjust, make sure you have the needle down. I said take my time, and my machine's like, let's go. And if I have to adjust or I'm moving things around, I just make sure the needle is down. Okay, I'm just gonna maneuver the bag around and make sure your hardware's out of the way. Well, oh, you know what I forgot, you guys? And I just realized it. I forgot the key fob. It's okay, it's okay. I can use it in another project, but I was like, where's the key fob? Or I could rivet it into the pocket. Like 6 million clips fell onto my lap. So I'm going to grab our zipper pull. And our zipper end. So I like to slide in one side at a time. Then I look to see if the ends are matching in the center bar. And then if it does, I just push. And then I'm going to take some double-sided tape. I like to use 1/4, and I'll cut off 2 small strips. I'll take my zipper and I will apply the first one to go across and put the other piece of tape right here and let that get folded into this. So you have it's nice and even. And then some people put glue in this, but I've never had one of them fall off. So I don't do it just in case I have to do like, if someone has a repair for me to do, then it's easier for me not to try to cut the tape off because it's stuck in there. And screw this in. And see, I did not add this. So, okay, there's a couple things you can do. Okay. One, you can like rivet it into place like right here. Or do like a cool little accent like this where you pull it up and it's like right, like riveted right there. So that way you can pull your keys up without having to unzip it. But that's at the end of it. Or you can do something like that right here, like fold it in half over itself and have it so your keys are in this pocket, which I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to kind of not put it towards the bulk, but I refuse not to have this key fob on there because it looks, it's a really cool key fob. I messed up for forgetting where to put it. And I'm going to punch a hole. Make sure everything's aligned. All right, and I'm just going to put a clip right there until I get my rivet. Put the mill part of the rivet in. Feed it through. And then we're going to set it with the really heavy... You know, I complain that it's heavy, but it is my favorite tool in my room. Okay, so we did it on the fly, but at least we got all the pieces in, right? So that is it. This is a really cool thing. You can let it kind of... I like to put a warm towel into bags so it can take its shape overnight. We have our zipper pocket, zipper opening, which has credit card slots and a slip pocket, and then the pocket itself. And then you can put something to drink. Like that, I feel like this is the perfect bag. Like water bottles are everywhere right now, and that is just so cool to me. I think that's such a cool feature. Again, how the bag comes together is simply magic. Now the key fob was supposed to be part of the over here in the where the beginning of the zipper was, and I just forgot. So we do have that pocket, and then now we have the key fob down there. But I will show you tomorrow what it looks like to have my I'm looking at this. This is really pretty. I will show you guys tomorrow when you during Captain's Log what the I can't talk today. The strap looks like, but this is it. This is so cute, isn't it? It's so beautiful. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. I'm like insanely proud of this bag. Thank you so much. So that is it. If you guys have any questions, please like feel free to leave a question down below and I can answer it. Or ooh, 4 Leias for Christmas. Yes, that's amazing. With the dragon. Yeah, her Leia was really beautiful. And then when I got to see, thank you so much. Again, if you scroll to the very top of this chat, you will see where you can buy the pattern, as well as you can look into if you want this exact class maker's kit, it's on there as well. She also has like leather kit, so if you are into making leather too, there's that. This is a very, very cool pattern. I haven't seen anything like it, and when I made it, I'm still thrown off on how the lining comes together. It feels like it's simplistic, but it's not. It's pure magic. Great pattern, Chris. So yeah, that is it. We've been on for quite some time, and I hope you guys you enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, please like leave them down in the in the box. If you want me to do another pattern from Chris's beautiful patterning selection, write down your favorite pattern. Put it in the comments. Let Chris know what pattern you like the best, so she has feedback. It always helps to get more and more information. All right. So that's it. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope everyone has a really good day and a good weekend. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Yes. Oh yeah, the alley bead is definitely on my list to like I want to do. All right. I'll talk to you guys later, okay? Bye.